When we were talking about the making of the paintings before the exhibition opened, you told me that each painting is individual, but yet they were made together, and thus the concept of the constellation.
I perceive this whole body of work, Cérebro, as just one big installation of paintings, but I mean, they're all individual, as we are. They're like fake siblings or siblings, because they tend to be the same in a different way, right? And so Insomniac, INSONE in Portuguese, the original title, comes from this idea of like not being able to rest, or at least I cannot escape being myself.
You also told me you didn't think of the title while you were painting them,
Yeah.
but the titles came after as you looked at them. And the titles, in many cases, express different states of the body.
Yeah. So behind us, it's digestion. Then you have like light bulb in the stomach, vomit, compass, nausea. The titles, they come together as ideas and feelings in state of mind and body. Yeah.
Right.
The body's on the floor, so it's the gravitas of all of this invented situation, right?
Right. And the body's in a dream state, or perhaps dead.
Yeah. I think it's more dreaming than that, actually.
Yeah. This body of paintings grew out of your residency that you had recently in Paris. And so you were building a show based on the paintings, but then you felt as though they needed some other element, especially in the concept of a constellation, to have something to anchor them,
Yeah.
right? And that's where the body came in, and you did a body scan of your own body, and you treated it as though it was a figure out of Pompeii. It's a figure that's been discovered, you know, at a point in the future that then is related to these paintings. And then, of course, then that grew into the idea of the titles being related to states of the body as well. I mean, to me, I see this show as like a gesamtkunstwerk, one complete body of work, or as you also said to me, that it's like an opera, you know, with different acts. Right?
It is an opera with different acts, as if this body, this ash body, was a direct scan of my body and then printed in resin and then coated with this patina of ash, and it has in its hands the bread. So basically it's as if it was like the tragical character, like the main character, you know, here lying on the floor, and then you have the painting surrounding it, and as if there were different acts, but they're all the same music, they're all the same score, but different notes. Ta, 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 ta. They build these fields of poetic understanding for the body. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. The title of the sculpture, it's Orphan. The title of the paintings are Cérebro, so it's brain for Portuguese. And I perceive the show, if I close my eyes, I have this image, very clear image of a little child going around through these very narrow and long streets and full of like colorful buildings.
When you just spoke about a young boy walking through the streets with very colorful buildings, I mean, that could be you as a child here in Lisbon. But I also think it's important, and we haven't touched on the fact of that the body is holding a morsel of bread that's very realistic piece of bread, and yet the pigeons, the birds, are pecking away at the body. You know, the birds are eating the flesh rather than what they would normally go for with the bread. You know? So psychologically, how does that play into your own life?
I've been using my own image to work in sculpture, but first because I think it's more easy to work with my own body, because I have it, as other artists did it. And I need to put myself in this vulnerable position in order to grow some strength out of it, you know? And when we were talking like a month ago or something, I was thinking about one thing that you told me that made a lot of sense to me. There's this possibility of the paintings to be like this hallucination also of the pigeons, you know. But the pigeons are myself as well. It's some kind of a constant loop that you cannot get away from, you know, and this is INSONE for me.
Well, and also in a spiritual sense, I mean, you know, in the church, when people take the offering, it's the body of Christ, right, as well. So the body is tied to the paintings are the sacrifice of the artist. I mean, there's all types of things that we could read into it.
Yeah. I think despite the fact that the title of the show is INSONE, what keeps me awake at night, it's this crazy idea of doing more work, because it's literally a loop inside a loop. I cannot get away from it. When I'm about to sleep, I mean, it's very common to me be thinking about the work and what's going to come after.